Alright guys, hey, welcome back to another episode of Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Guys, I want to say thanks again for the love and support and always being here. Now, if you saw the last episode that I did with Aklai, this woman, an amazing woman, known all over London, Ontario, or Canada, for want of a better word, for her ministry. We dived a little bit into her story, guys, and can I tell you, it was quite emotional in the room. And so we thought, like, listen, we needed to get to know her. So we are now in part 2. Of course, guys, I'd love to hear your comments, etc. You know, how has her story impacted you? Well, let me just give you a little backstory on Aklai and how we met. I had visited this gala through work, and guys, it's a choir with just children, and when I tell you they have big voices, they have big voices, melodious, very organized. Let me tell you, they will lift the roof, and leading them was this energetic lady going on with herself, and I was just really sitting there enjoying it. My daughter says to me, I want to join this choir. Now guys, this was us being in Canada for maybe about a little over 6 months. And she says, I want to join the choir. So I said, okay, no problem. We went to talk to this lady, gave her my details. Not you, I think there was another lady, gave her the details, and then we just didn't hear. And Simone kept following up. Funny, it's amazing. At that time, I'm thinking that Simone is not at that age to thoroughly understand what she's about, but she did. And so she said, Mom, have you followed up? I'm like, no, and they haven't reached out, and I didn't get a number. I don't know how to reach out until that the email came, guys. And since then, Simone has been singing with this amazing choir. This choir has been going places. But I don't want you to hear it from me. I want you to hear it from the conceptualizer, the organizer, the creator, the originator. You know what I mean? Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what gave rise to the birthing of this choir.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it. And it's like my baby, you know, a form of it. Not my true baby, like Hattie, but well, let's talk about Hattie. Yeah. Hattie is the person who thought of it, actually. Okay. So we moved to London in 2021, and she was 7 years old. And so we did leave I think I mentioned my family being really large family. So now imagine people have gotten married, people have children. So there's even more kids, more joy, more everything, more music. I took her away from all of that. So it was just me, her dad, and her. So she said, wow, well, where am I going to sing now? You know what? We sing in the family, at my family's church. My father, as I mentioned, was a pastor. So we were in the church at home with everybody every Sunday, also gone from her. And so I said, well, let me look for a choir. Did you want to sing? She's like, I want to sing in a choir. I said, okay, I'm sure London, you know, it's a city. Yeah. We'll find a choir. So I look for choirs, and I'm looking for choirs, researching Google, whatever. I see different choirs for children, but nobody in those choirs, or very few people, look like us. And I said, well, what about this one? She, who also has eyes, said to me, no one looks like us, or just one or two, and I'm sure they're like the token kids, you know. And I said, well, maybe they like the songs they're singing. She's like, no, mommy, no. I said, okay, well, then that's that. End of search, and let's put you in ballet. And she says, she was in ballet as well. She says, well, Mom, you sing. You've done choirs before. You sing with your family your entire life, up until now. Why don't you start a choir? Hey. And I said, child, I didn't come all the way here. I came here to rest. Yes, exactly. My life in Montreal was very full, very busy. I've done a lot. I've done that ministry, this ministry. I'm not, no matter where I go, I do ministry. So I'm like, I've done enough. And she's like, but you could do it. I was like, OMG, we're not having this conversation. And then my husband said, well, it'd be really easy for you. For someone else, it might be hard, but for you, it'd be really easy. Yeah. Just saying. I'm like, what is this? Are we ganging up a mom? So I thought about it, prayed about it. At the time of the church we were going to, I talked to the people about it, and they're like, that would be great. That would be good for the church. And I'm like, you know what? It started to grow on me bit by bit. I said, well, what could happen now? We had just moved. I'm like, what have to happen next year? Like, I don't have any, our house is still in boxes. I have to put everything away. And so the next year came, and I was like, you know what, Akai, it's time.
Yeah.
We want her to have a choir experience when she's a child, not when she's 18. Like, she's 8 years old. Mm-hmm. It's time. Yeah. And so we started it with something, I think 7 children.
Yeah.
I started putting a word out there, by the way. If you're interested, we're going to start a choir, because I do know how to do choirs. I've done music my whole life.
Yeah.
I did choir since I was 15, leading choirs. I've probably led about maybe 5 choirs at that point, you know, just for years, different things. And so I'm like, putting the word out there. So the first year we were 7 children. Mm-hmm. The second year we were 14 children. Mm. The third year we were 21 children. This past year we've been 26 children.
Okay, now.
So it's doubling every year. It's like, imagine, hopefully this year we'll get to 28, year 4. Then I guess, do the math.
Yeah.
My goal is 50.
50.
Yeah.
How has the choir impacted the children through your eyes?
Yeah. So first of all, my daughter, it's just giving her community. Mm-hmm. It's giving her, she's in our family, she's the only child. So it's giving her friends, community that she can sing with, focus on God, focus on music, so developing her voice. But also the Christian aspect, like being able to learn about God in such a fun way. Yes. Then you're talking about God too, because what I do in my choir, and I knew from the beginning, if I'm going to do this, which is why I was hesitant at the first, mm-hmm. I don't do anything halfway. Yeah. If I'm going to do it, it's going to be done, mm-hmm. which means that we're going to meet properly. It's not going to be skittish, like, oh, it's sometimes it's going to be a program. Yeah. It's going to be a thing with deadlines and dates and time and organization and mm-hmm. teams and volunteers. It's going to be a thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it is a thing. We became nonprofit last year. Nonprofit status. I don't know that we're going to become charity status. I think right now nonprofit is good for us for what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And then we have, like, when the choir comes in, they have a structure. They come do warm-ups, but they also do small groups. They have prayer groups within the choir. They talk about their prayer requests every single day. There's Bible readings. So they're growing as Christians, as young believers, as followers of Christ. And those people, there are some families that you don't have to be a Christian to come, but they're exposed to the Lord, exposed to the culture of God. Yeah. And so I think the impact I've seen is they actually care about the songs they sing. They learn to love God. They learn to worship God, because a lot of the songs we do are worship songs. It's not just, like, I am a C, I am a C. There's nothing wrong with those songs. Mm-hmm. Or the Bible, yes, mm-hmm. that's the book for me. Mm-hmm. Lovely. I learned it in Sunday school. Mm-hmm. But that's not what the vision of this choir is, really to raise the next generation to know God, but to also sing with excellence. So to put those things together, excellent musically with all my musical background, vocal training that I've had for years, and also knowing God and growing in faith and community. That's why the word community is there. Yeah. At first I wasn't sure, but then God was just like, the London Kids Community Gospel Choir. Community has to be there. It's not just a gospel choir. Yeah. It's a community gospel choir.
So just in case you're wondering, guys, the kids choir, the name London Kids Community Gospel Choir. Now I'll tell you something, because I want so I hear from through your eyes, but what are some of the feedback that you've gotten from persons? I'll start with me. I've never seen my daughter so organized as when there's something to do with the choir. Let me tell you something. Wow. You see, when there's a performance or on a Saturday morning, you don't need to wake her up. You don't need to tell her to get her clothes organized. I kid you not, for school we have to. But when it comes to the choir, don't play. She is not in a playing mood. She's not procrastinating. She will haunt you to the max. And I'm like, what is a Clyde doing to these children? Because one evening, I tell you, when they were in the studio, I have a little issue driving on the highway. And so part of had to come partially on 4:01 the evening, and so I came on and I had to come back out because I was starting to have a panic attack. And the child was like, "Mom, you're going to make me late." Normally she's very caring when I'm going through that, but she's like, "You're going to make me late. Tell your brain to shut up."
She said that. I'm not talking to Simone. Tell your brain to shut up.
She said, "Tell your brain to shut up and get on the road. You're going to make me late."
Oh my goodness.
So I'm just telling you the impact it's been having on my daughter. She does not play. There's no playing around when it comes to getting to choir, to getting there on time. She does not want to be late. When there's a performance, when I tell you, there's no compromise. So just so you know. So
well, that's good. It means that what I'm saying is having an effect on them.
It's having an effect. Believe me, it's having an effect. She ain't playing around. But
so
you know, I'd love to know what are some of the feedback you've gotten from some of the other parents regarding what's going on.
Parents love choir. They say that similarly to you, I've heard many parents tell me this. I've heard parents say that now choir is what they used to threaten their children to, if you don't clean your room, you won't go to choir. I said, I don't know if I want to be associated with negativity. I guess do what works, right? But no, I issued out because we're getting robes this year, which I'm excited about.
Nice.
The robes are very expensive robes, very quality made robes, because I want only the best for our children.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're getting robes, so I needed to know for sure who's coming back. Because I'm like, I can't spend $379 per robe, almost $400. They're serious.
Yeah.
Because I'm very serious about this choir, which is probably why the kids get it, right? They see that I'm all about them.
Yes.
So they're all about them. So I think it is a factor. When you show your children or your kids or whatever you're doing that you're 100% for them, they're going to give it back, which I'm glad to hear that they are.
Yes.
They are doing it, because when it's come time for rehearsal, if it's 9:30, I'm going to be there at 9:05.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there, so I'm ready for them. So I don't play, so they don't play. So that makes me feel good to hear that. But yeah, no, the feedback has been just saying, like, everybody wrote back, yes, we're coming back. Like, except for a couple families, because, well, they're moving to Nigeria. I mean, everyone wants to come back.
Yeah.
And so the fact that people want to come back and just like, yes, resounding yes, all across the board, I'm like, good.
Awesome.
Right. So
tell us about the dynamics of the choir. You know, what is it made up of in terms of, is it just Caribbean people? Is it just Black people, you know, so to speak?
Yeah.
What is the choir made up of?
So, certainly there's a lot of Black children, but it's not only for Black children. It's multicultural in that, you know, there's an Asian child, there's a white child, or several white children, and then even in Black, it's not one country.
Yeah.
It's multicultural within the Black population that's within the choir. So the children from African backgrounds, Caribbean backgrounds, the islands, French speaking, English speaking. So it's quite diverse. It's a diverse choir. I do want it to remain. I never want it to be a place that becomes just like white Canadian, because then I feel like there won't be a place for Black Canadians to come and feel like, oh, what about me? But it's not a Black Canadian choir.
Yeah.
It's for any child.
Awesome. Now, I've had the privilege of being in certain rooms and the choir is present. And guys, I'm talking about like major galas with important official government officials here in Ontario. And guys, opening or maybe ending or somewhere in there is this London Kids Community Gospel Choir. Tell me about some of the performances that you have had the privilege of having your choir sharing.
Yeah, we've performed, especially this last year. I feel like there's a lot of sort of high-profile events that we were at, just invited to come. This is, I'm making a point never to solicit. So I never ask someone, can I sing at your event?
Yes.
You know, I think at the beginning there was like a bit of like cooperation of like, oh, would you like to be here and things like that. But that was like probably 2022.
Yeah.
Since then, it's just people who hear about us emailing, can the choir come? So we have sang at some police events this year, the police gala, the chief police gala, which was, I think, thousands of people were there.
Over 1,000.
It was a very well-attended event. The Louis Correa, which is also another police event, the Wing Community Center events, the gala events, the public library events. the Island Festival, Emancipation Day. We've just been invited to all kinds of events that the city is doing around different agencies or public entities. London Museum, I believe, are an affiliation of London Museum. I don't know if it was actually London Museum. The Wolf Performance Hall, we've gone there. Just a lot of things. London Got Talent, we were there last year. We won second place. We won first place at the ECA Awards, which is the Essence and Cultural Awards.
I don't want you to glide over that one, because that's a big thing. So tell us about that award, because guys, she's making it seem like, it's nothing. Let me tell you something, it's a big thing. And if you know me here, it's a big thing, guys. It's a real big thing.
It is a big thing.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So the Essence and Cultural Awards is a pretty big award here in London, Ontario, for the Black community and businesses, scholarships, students, arts, literature, different ones. And so we did win this award in 2025. The choir, London Kids Community Gospel Choir, did win that award this year, the Essence of Cultural Awards. So that was definitely a privilege, and we work hard, that's for sure. Yeah. The choir works hard. We meet every single Saturday, unless we have scheduled breaks, but that's it. Unless I'm like dying, if I was really sick, then I'll have a replacement. But I just manage myself so I'm not sick and I'm well. So I don't think I miss Saturdays. I don't think I've ever missed one, because it is a priority for me. It is important to me that our children and our Black children, whatever cultural background they're from, whether Jamaican, Haitian, African, feel that we have something that is excellent. It's not something that's going to be a second best or a third best. It's going to be the best. And I'm glad to say, at least in 2025, we were considered the best in the arts. So.
Yes, they were. So, congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Guys, I mean, they made it. They were in the papers. They were on national TV. You name it, they're there. So I know you guys are going into your new season.
Yes, fourth season.
Fourth season. Tell us, what should we be expecting, and what are some of your plans? And when I say plans, I don't want you to dive into your strategy too much. Yeah. But I know, for instance, you're trying to, new auditions, etc. So
yes,
share with us a little bit about season 4.
Yes. So if you're in London people who are watching, and you have children between the ages of 7 and 17, they are welcome to come audition for our choir, to be a part of the choir. The auditions actually happen August 30th. So if you're in London and you've got children or connected, or you know people, have them audition. Does not mean they're gonna get in. They gotta be able to sing. They do. If they can't, it's not to be the best place for them. But so this year I'm hoping that we get a good around 30 people, 30 children. So we're pushing for 11 new members to join us. And we are, for the first time in 3 years, hosting a second Christmas concert. We usually don't have Christmas concerts, but this year we will, and we will be introducing our robes at the Christmas concert. The date's already set to December 19th. It's going to be at First St. Andrew's Church, which is a beautiful cathedral, beautiful location. First St. Andrew's, I don't know if you've ever been to First St. Andrew's. It's a beautiful cathedral, worthy of our choir and the space for that. So Friday, December 19th is going to be our Christmas concert, introducing the LKCGC robes. Wow. So I'm very excited about that. So that's kind of our big plan for the fall semester. And then in the new year, in 2026, we've already made plans with, we've been invited to like 6 places already. Wow. So I'm turning them down after this, for the fall, no more. I mean, we got to learn the songs, we got to practice them. Yeah. And my poor parents, it's up to them to bring them, that's their responsibility. So I think we've got 4 performances for the fall. So I think I'm actually gonna say no more, unless, I'm not saying no more exactly, depending if there's a super high profile event that we just cannot turn down. So I'm not telling the parents that. That'll be our little secret that anyone can hear on this show today. But in the new year, we're planning a joint concert with the London Gospel Collective. So that's in collaboration, it's in the works. London Gospel Collective is like an adult choir, a gospel choir for adults that has been around London about the same time that our gospel choir started. So we're planning to do a joint concert on Palm Sunday. So we already have the date. So that's something that's under the wraps right now, of selecting songs, figuring out arrangements, talking to our different musicians. and putting the whole package together. So that's going to happen Palm Sunday. So those are 2 concerts that people can look forward to, December 19th and Palm Sunday in 2026.
All right. So guys, big things coming for the choir. So if you're in London, Ontario, and you're looking for a place, your child, from all indication, there are giftings in your child as it relates to their voice, and you're looking for a place, as you would have heard Aklai shared, the vision started with her 7-year-old daughter. So listen, this may be the place for your child. Now, we want to, as we're about to wrap up overall, Aklai, we've gotten a chance to know you.
Yes, you asked me some really amazing questions that had me thinking about things I hadn't thought about for a while.
I'm happy. That's what I'm kind of known here for. What's next for you? What's next on your agenda? I think you've evolved. You've evolved in several different ways. And I would like to say, this just literally hit my mind like a Moses. He had the privilege of being raised by Pharaoh in Egypt, understanding that he was not an Egyptian. He was an Israelite. And what he didn't know is that he was destined to lead God's people out of the place where he was raised, out of Egypt into the promised land, while he didn't cross over. But he saw it from a distance. He piloted and put in place all the various things for God's people to cross over. Your life, you have been there. You were raised in church. You had the parents. You had to go through the molestation. You had to go through dealing with your emotional roller coasters. You had to get sick because your story wasn't about you. It was about all the other people that you have encountered thus far. The ministries, I don't know if you've listened so far, you've ever stopped to take note of what has come out of your life. And I'm just talking I'm really just getting a chance. This is the first we're sitting down to talk like this. But as I'm talking to you, these are the things that's coming out for me. I feel it coming. That the women's ministry got birthed out of your pain. My God. Your children's ministry got birthed out of a place of not having a child to having a child to having the child say, hey mom, this ministry that you've had all your life is not just for you. It's about you expanding it now and creating a platform for other children. What's next for you?
Wow. I balance that question, what's next for me, with living one day at a time. Because what's next for me, as we know, no day's promised, especially I know from what I lived last year, nothing is promised, but I'm still alive. So since I'm still alive, there must be more. And so it's kind of like that natural, you're not dead. So don't act dead. Don't pretend you're dead. Let's wake up and do things. So I think for me, continuing to pour into children will be important. And then also there's yearnings or rumblings, let's put it like that, rumblings of how can I establish, like for my women's ministry, establish enough leadership to take that over. So that, I'm not going to live forever, that's we know. So even what does it look like for me to establish that? And I don't know what it all looks like, but there are rumblings of I won't say like a firm exit plan, but I am thinking about what does it look like to create a space and nurture people so that they feel ready to take that on. Gospel choir, I feel like I'm just getting started, honestly. So I think for me, for that piece of it, next is still me see myself at the helm. I don't quite see me handing it off to somebody else yet. I'm sure that'll come on. Probably my daughter, who knows if she's interested to take on the choir later on. But I feel like I see travel for the choir and me. Maybe going to Europe, maybe going to the UK, definitely going to Toronto, Montreal. Kind of taking us on the road a little bit. I know we're good enough. Certainly we're not perfect and we have things to fix. But when you said big voices, that's what I teach. I teach that because I don't want people to think just because you're a child, you're nothing, or that you're like twinkle, twinkle, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's if that's how you want to sing, that's okay. But these children are can be more than that. And since they can be more than that, I want them to be the fullness of what they can be.
Yeah.
You know, and if that's what they can do, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the vision for this choir is expanding their voices and letting them expand to learn the dynamics. It's not just about being loud. It's about learning how to yield that instrument, which is their voice, and letting them, right?
Yeah.
Allowing them to use that voice, softly and loudly, and textures and all those things that we do in vocal training with them. So it's not just, oh, come and sing. It's learn how to love your voice as you love God.
Yeah.
And so it's really the big picture. So I see myself continue to do that. Maybe have an album. We did some work in the studio this year, so we'll see what we can continue to do with that. I see us doing recording a couple singles, and I see big things in the future for the choir.
I like that. For you, what's next for you?
For me as a person, so I think I mentioned this to you maybe off camera, but writing.
Yeah.
I think it's time for me to put out some books.
Yeah.
And I'm working on such books. Some of it is related to my psychotherapy work, my work with couples and being a strong, healthy couple in marriages.
Yeah.
But also have a desire to write fiction books for children, kind of like following my own childhood with the Haitian-Canadian culture, kind of like we talked about patois. Like, if it was, I would love to write a book with maybe a Jamaican person, right? Like, because it's kind of like, how do you express to the outside world what it's like to live in those two cultures? Like when you say, wake up in the morning, my mom's gonna say wake up in English. She's not gonna ever speak to me in English. She'll be like, faut que lever. Okay, levez no. And I want to put that in the writing, in the Creole writing, in brackets and in English, to kind of share what it was like in the funny stories and of a children, an 8-year-old waking up in their house with their siblings and the food they're eating, porridge in the morning, and the kalaloo that they're having, and just the food, the flavors, so they can kind of get a glimpse and make it a book for the children. Like, oh, this is a children's book. But it's not just a regular setting that they're used to with a mainstream culture here, with our culture in there. So that's what I'm kind of thinking about. The retreat I'm doing, I want to do more of those kind of retreats. I took a 2-day trip for my vacation. Not really vacation, it was just 2 days, but it was like a 2-day getaway, let's call it that. I went to Godridge. It was amazing for my birthday last week. And so yes, I'm 47 years old. I'm getting used to the idea.
Happy birthday!
47 years old! I just feel, for some reason, 47 feels different than all the other years. Yeah. But it caused me to come to a place of deeper reflection, deeper times with God, deeper times understanding my reliance on the Lord. Like before, I think it was like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And now I know I have a lot of limits. Yeah. It's not like before when I was 25 or 35, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's more like, okay, God, with your help, I know I'm going to do this. So it takes a lot more reflection, a lot more times alone in His presence. People often say, like, oh, you're so extroverted. And yes, I do think I'm extroverted. But it also comes from a place of deep moments of aloneness with the Lord and with myself and with the water, ocean, or the lake. So yeah, I want to do more of that. Next for me is spending more of those times of reflection. I want to kind of do getaways, not going to Vegas or going to these lavish places, but just going to the ocean, going to the lake, going to the waters, and just being in His presence so that I can get the inspiration for the things that I do. Yeah,
I'm loving this. As we wrap up, I don't know if God has laid anything on your heart, because we talked about, you doing this and coming, and just overall, since you've been sitting on set with me, is there anything in your spirit that you want to share?
It's a song that I actually heard a children's choir sing years ago, but it stays with me, and it is, trust in the Lord, lean not on your own understanding, in all of your ways acknowledge Him, He'll make your path straight. So I think, honestly, in all of what we shared, I want to encourage you, if you're listening to me today, to trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's what I'm trying to do with my own life, and not trying, I am doing with my life. Trusting the Lord with all of your heart, with every part, with everything, with your family, with your job, with your kids, with your wayward kids, with your wayward husband, with your wayward wife. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart, and do not lean on yourself. Right? We get degrees. I've got a master's. My husband has got a doctorate. We get degrees, but don't trust in that. We get finances. We can be rich, get wealth, get houses. Don't trust in that. Have daughters, have sons. Don't trust in that. I really want to encourage you with everything, if I have any strength in me, to trust in the Lord, because He's the sure place. Trust in the Lord. Lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways, in everything you're doing, acknowledge God. Say, God, this is what I'm trying to do. God, here's where I'm going. God, here's my lack. God, here's my pain. God, meet me in my pain. God, meet me in my lack. God wants to meet us there. That's where He's going to meet us. In all of your ways, acknowledge Him. And the Bible tells us He will make our path straight. You know, the worst thing to a human being is not dying. That's not the worst thing. And so when we think death is the worst thing, then we do all kinds of things trying to avoid it. But death is not the worst thing. The worst thing is dying without God, dying without knowing God, dying in our sins, dying without the Lord. That's the worst thing. So if you have Him, death is nothing. You're going to be with the Lord forever anyways, for eternity. So I really think that trust in the Lord, acknowledge Him in all our ways, and not taking shortcuts, not getting to, like we say in Creole, magouille. Don't get into magouille. Don't get into sac passa. Don't get into things that are not the way because, I've got to do this to avoid, ultimately our biggest fear is being alone and dying alone. Don't worry about that. Trust the Lord. Put all your faith in God. That's really what I can tell you. That's what I'm doing with my life, trusting God, and then taking baby steps. Don't be afraid to take action. Everything here, the choir, the ministry, the healing, even the healing I had years ago, was taking baby steps. Trust that God's got greater and better for me, and taking steps towards those greater and better. So that's what I can encourage you, and then see what God will do in your life.
An amazing interview.
Wow, yeah.
An amazing interview, and I can't thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough. I will say that as I prepared to come back out, as I was sharing with you, and as like, God, I'm moving in obedience, and without even thinking, you were on my list. Like God said, you need to be one of those. Remember, and guys, she is here to testify. This is the first, even though my daughter sings on your choir, this is the first you and I have exchanged more than, hi, how are you?
Yes, absolutely.
And so, because God knew that there was a story. I didn't even know there was a story. I just knew that the Lord was saying, you were one of those persons that I needed to interview. And so I'm honored. I'm honored to have you here. Because there is so much that God is going to do with your life. As a matter of fact, He has started. And He who has begun a good work will complete it. So you said something, you've said it maybe 3 times, that it may be just a thought to you, but I want you to understand that it's not. You're still here. You're still here. You're not dead. You're still here.
That's right.
If you were finished, you would have gone home. You're not done yet.
That's right.
And so what I want you to, I kind of want you to dream big. I know I do get the feeling that you're a big dreamer, but I want you to dream even bigger now. Because I do believe that what's coming next, I usually like to say the bathtub is not enough to hold you. You are about to drink from your saucer, girl. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord. I receive it.
Yes. You're about to drink from your saucer. So get ready. Your daughter, she's an offshoot of you. And so what I tend to realize is, as nature, because God has been using nature to teach me, is that one plan comes up and it gives another, and the other one is even more glorious. So continue to pray over her. Continue to lead her in the path of the Lord, because her days, beautiful.
I agree. I see it already.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me. My goodness.
It was my pleasure. And I'm even more so grateful to, because my daughter, I pray for my children. I have concerns about my children in terms of, Lord, I mean, when will they come to know you? How do I minister to them in a way that they'll come to know you? Because I have to slap them as well.
Both ends.
So how do I love them and train them up in the way of the Lord, but at the same time correct them? And sometimes the correction is not what they like, but I have to correct them. But here it is that God has provided a platform, a community that's raising my child, helping to raise my child in the fear of the Lord. So can I tell you, I don't worry about her salvation anymore. Like, I kid you not, I don't. I'm not even concerned the least. I've kind of fixed my focus on my son, because I feel like Simone is in a place where she's well taken care of spiritually.
Oh, praise God.
Yes. So thank you again. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It really, really is.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it here on Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Another amazing story. And I definitely want to hear from you. You know, what part of this episode ministered to you? What part stood out for you? And of course, are you watching from Haiti? Are you watching from Canada? Are you watching from Jamaica? Where in the world are you watching from? And could you identify? So do please let me know, how has this episode impacted you? And what else would you like what would you like to hear more from Aklai? As well as, guys, we shared in our first episode that if you've been struggling with trauma and struggles, that the Women's Conference is coming up in November. You definitely want to be a part of that. All the links are going to be in the comments, the chat box below. So be sure to tune in and let Aklai know you heard it here on Uniquely Me and you want to be a part of it. Or maybe your child, you want that child to be a part of the choir. Remember, August 30, audition comes up. So show up. All right, guys, until next time, we say here, Uniquely Me is definitely uniquely you. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and of course, guys, let me know how this
if you're looking for a therapist, I do online therapy as well. Wherever you're in the world, just look at the link below and book your consultation with me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I want to share with you some of my books that I have self-published. There are 3 lines of my books. First up, I'm going to be showing you the journal line. All the books are created for women and girls. The major theme is time management, providing a tool for helping to manage time. So first up, we have the Rejoice, a DIY journal for inspired women of intent. So women who, like myself, have a lot of ideas and you really want to get it out there. Well, first and foremost, you want to get it on paper. So let me just show you a little bit on the inside of the DIY journal. As you can see, it gives you a little space for if you are giving it as a gift to be able to write up to and from. Then it tells you what it's about, a little introduction, and then it goes into the journal pages. Randomly, you will find scripture passages or you will find motivational quotes inside the Rejoice journal. And just to make it even more attractive, we have the woman, a picture of the woman to marking each page. So that's what you have. It's just lines and lines, guys, on both sides that you are able. And like I said, you'll find quotes. You'll find sometimes you find a little more than just the quotes. So if you are thinking about your Bible study notes, your sermon notes, you're going to a meeting and you need a way to capture the notes from the meeting, or you just want to share your own thoughts, then the Rejoice journal is for you. Next up, guys, we have the Princess Prayer Planner. Now, the Princess Prayer Planner is for teenage girls, young women in particular, or women who are really just into spending time with themselves. So as you can see, it's pretty colorful, right? And it also, on the inside, as you open, there's a quote: be bold, be brave, be you. Then it goes into telling you what it is. This particular journal, and why I say it's for teen girls, is because of the many mirrors of things that you'll find in it. So let's begin. So you'll find a lot of flowers. You'll find a little woman. You'll find it's labeled each day one. I think this one, if my memory serves me correctly, so 90 day. You'll find journal lines. You'll find devotionals in there. You'll find a little planner in there. And there's so many things. So it's a devotional. You find journal pages so that you're able to write. You'll find, again, like I said, there's a planner. I want to go some more around to the back where you'll find other things in there. You'll find a space for stuff that you're grateful for that you can write in it. You'll find little quotes as well. Some of my own little quotes that have guided me along the way. I want to share with you something else that's there, guys. So like I said, there's a daily planner, there's the devotional. I want to show you some of the things that you see. It says color me. So you have stuff in there that you can actually color as well. Space that you can dream. Grateful for. And I changed the planners up, guys. There are different planners in there. Same thing for the great gratitude pages as well. There are different ones all over in there, and so you are allowed to see some of the other things that you can color. So if you're looking for a vision board or something to that effect, then this planner is for you. Or if you are looking for a way to teach your teenage daughter how to begin to record and write her vision, then the Princess Prayer Planner is for her. Next up, guys, is my biggie, the Uniquely Me Planner. Yes, so you would have seen me talking about the Uniquely Me Planner. This is for my more mature women, executive women, busy moms. You are looking for something that you can definitely take to the boardroom with you, or you just really want to represent. Then, as you can see, I have a woman, I should say, all represented here on the cover. So it's a Uniquely Me Planner for the woman who wants to create balance in her busy schedule. If you're like me, you have the children, you have work, you have the husband, you have community, you're trying to film, you're trying to listen, you're trying to shop, you're trying to go to the supermarket. It's so much things to do. So there you have it, just to give you a little picture as it relates to what's in there. There's a little review as it relates to what it is for, special note there. So this one, guys, it also gives you your yearly goals, so you're able to state, and I did this one in 2 parts, so you can put your half year goal there. There is your daily, monthly planner, right, or your journal, so you're able to write. You can list the things you have to do, and then you can put them in order of priority. You can also journal about them, and if you have something that you want to do on a daily basis, you can put that there. Then there's an area where sometimes you need to set some goals, and those goals, as we know, needs to be SMART goals. So I break it down for you. You're specific, you're measurable, you're attainable, you're relevant, and you're time-oriented goals. So you're able to break your goals out. Of course, guys, like I said, there's also the daily stuff that you want to do. I give you different lines or different pages for that. Again, you can put them in order of priorities. You have your to-do list, you have your habit tracker, and a little quote, of course, for me. And then there's this blank space that you can put your notes. And so we give you pages of that. There are things too. Again, you can put your priorities or your schedule. You can put a date. So you notice it's a mixture, guys, because so you're able. This is dynamic. So you're not limited to any one particular way of documenting your things. There's your big box here to dream. So there's something that you're thinking about, not yet ready to bring out. You can put it all there. You want to list your things to do. There's something that took place that you're grateful for. You're able to put that there. It was very important too, and I give you pages of those, guys. There's also just a blank page too, because sometimes there are things that you just really want to write about. So there you have it, and so you'll find these going repeatedly through. Now I must tell you that for the Uniquely Me Planner, if you should go on Amazon, this is the budget one. So it's the one that will have the black and white on the inside, and we also have it in color. So if you wanted to see all of these things in color, then the color version is there. So there you have it. the journal line of Uniquely Me, or should I say GDP Publishing. As you know, guys, they're multifaceted. There's the God's Daily portion, Uniquely Me, and of course there's GDP Publishing. Let me know, of course, guys, have you gotten any of these journals? How have you been finding them? Are they helpful to you? Have you been able to schedule yourself, your day or your year? 2022 is upon us, and so you don't want to get caught without having your planner on hand. Thank you for tuning in to Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. Remember, Uniquely Me is uniquely you.